It's been good. The spirit is great. The competitive nature in training has been fantastic, to be quite honest. And players that we had last year have really come back with kind of a renewed vigor, and um, the newer players have also just jumped right in. So I feel like we're in such a good place right now in terms of our mentality and the work that we're putting in, and it feels like a very, very good environment right now.
Any other questions? Go ahead, James.
Thanks, Ali. Hey, Robin.
Hey, James.
We got the list of opposition you guys will be playing over these couple of weeks. I was wondering if you could maybe sort of speak to what you're expecting from the various teams you'll be facing, and also what you want to see from your side as you build through these games towards February.
Yeah, I think the answer is we don't really know what to expect when we play foreign teams. We can take a look at them and see what their tendencies are, but we're never really, really sure. So actually, I kind of like that as an exercise for our group, because the more that they can figure out things quickly on their own, the better equipped they're going to be for when they see different things in the season. So, um, in terms of what we want, that's one of the things that we're looking for is our ability to read what teams are doing and be able to set ourselves up defensively. And if you think about how our season ended last year, we defended really quite well and were difficult to play against. And so the early part is certainly about reinstilling that mentality that through hard work, through organization, through communication, through understanding, we were able to make it very difficult for teams. So certainly that's one of the things we're looking for. And then on the other side of it is being able to take advantage of some of the opportunities that we get offensively, meaning, like I said, we defended really well at the end of last year, had some decent chances. We want to work on being able to create more chances and then obviously finish more of them off.
Go ahead, Neil.
Thank you. Hi, Robin. Nice to see you.
Hey, Neil, how are you?
Good, thanks. First, the elephant in the room. Have you been following the weather back home?
My goodness. Yes, there are cameras around my house, and I can't believe the amount of snowfall that's involved. In fact, a friend of mine, a former TFC coach, sent me a text the other day. You're lucky to be in Spain. This is the most snow I've ever seen. So I can't imagine how much that must be.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, crazy here. Um, uh, your roster does not seem complete. The search for a marquee attacker continues. Any developments on that front? I know it's Jason's
Yeah.
brief, but and how do you just go ahead with what you've got right now, and then how are the attackers looking?
That's a lot. That's a lot, Neil. But yeah, we are definitely still looking for a few pieces, and we are, have been in discussions with and continue to look at and vet some of the attacking options that we want. So we feel like we're pretty close to closing in on a few. So in a sense, that's really exciting that the team looks as committed as they do, and we still are missing a few pieces. Um, Second part of the question. How are the attackers looking? Good, good. I think that the last thing to come together is the attacking pieces. And so the players, the guys have been off for a number of months. And I would say if you look where they were a couple of weeks ago when I started as to where they are now, they're really getting sharper and sharper every day, which is to be expected, given the fact that we've had some time off. But we've seen some really good attacking moves. We've seen really good ideas that have culminated in quite a few decent finishes in training. But we still feel like we're still very much on the way up in terms of our attack.
Thanks, Robin.
You bet. Thank you.
Go ahead, John.
Thanks, Ali. Robin, last week you mentioned about Nix and Henry and Theo. You were basically waiting until you got to Spain so that they could train on grass because you didn't want to take chances with them training on turf. And I think you said you were slow rolling Mateus as well. Are they now fully involved in training now that you're in Spain?
No, 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 no. And especially Nick's and Henry, considering their off-season surgeries, they are, when I see them running around the field, they look ready to me to the naked eye, but certainly Nick's, with the severity of the Achilles, we have to be cautious and slow with him. And we want to build him in slowly. That's not the type of injury that you just recover and you come back. That is one that's really you have to be careful, and you really want to make sure they're all the way back. And the same goes for Henry as well. He's had a number of injuries since he's been here. But I was saying the other day in training, as they were running around the field, like, "Oh, you guys look like you're ready to go." So they're moving really, really quite well. Matthias, as you know, had an injury back in November, came back and trained in December, but partially because the fields here have been really, really wet. They say it's the most rain they've had here in 10 years. Because the fields have been really wet, we're really being cautious with Mateus because we think he's going to be a very big part of the season. We want to make sure he lasts the whole year. But it's supposed to dry up a bit into the end of this week, into next week. And I think he and Theo will both be ready to get in then.
Go ahead, James.
Thanks again. Robin, I want to get you on the try lists and the draft picks, but first off, there's a good number of young guys involved in this camp. Richard Chukwu, Tim Fortier, Anthony Bostonberry, and Jamari. I just wanted to get your sort of early impressions on how you're seeing them fit in with this level.
Yeah, it's been really interesting, to be quite honest. I think Richie's done quite well. As you imagine, it's harder to make an impact as a young attacker than it is as a young defender. Things are just tighter as you go up the field. But having said that, I feel like it's been a real learning experience for Tim. I think the game is just a little bit faster at this level than he's used to. And he's had some really, really good moments, but he's also looked like the speed has been a challenge for him at times, which is to be expected. Tony's been quite good. As a player who is not the biggest in stature, you know that, and especially in the middle of the field where he plays, I've been quite impressed with how he handles himself in the middle of the field. He knows how to buy himself time. He knows how to get himself facing forward, and he's had some really good moments. And then Jamari is the same. Obviously, as young as he is, this whole thing is a learning experience for him, and he's literally gotten better day by day. And I thought he had a really good camp. He showed that there are some things that he really needs to work on, and now he's gone back to Jamaica for the U17 national team.
Go ahead, Neil.
Robin, how will you approach the first game of the preseason tomorrow? Will it be 90 minutes? Will you field a different lineup each half? What's your approach?
Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. It is a 90-minute game, and it just so works out that a good number of the starting group, even from the very end of last year, are together. We feel like we want to build that cohesion right away. And the second half will be a group of younger players who, you know, obviously some have been here, some are new, some are trialists, that sort of thing. But it's kind of the second game for the young group because we had a scrimmage against the Forge in the bubble and against Forge in the bubble. And it was a really good experience for me to see them playing together. And one of the reasons we had that early game is that we know that as we get into Spain and get into the games here, that we will start to focus more and more on the first group. So it was a really good chance for me to see how some of the young guys did. And tomorrow is going to be another one of those opportunities. And then after this, obviously and not to say that some of the young guys won't feature in the first group. That's definitely not the case. That it won't happen, but it's an opportunity again to see this young group of players together. And one of the things I find interesting about when all the young players are together is you see tendencies of leadership, which are certainly part of the things that we're looking for in the maturation of some of the young players.
Thank you.
Go ahead, John.
Yeah, thanks, Ellie. Robin, I don't think we've asked you about this, but MLS changing the to summer to spring schedule in 2027. You've been in the league for a very long time, since the early days. I'd be really interested to hear your take on the MLS going this route.
It's interesting because this is where it is in the world, right? Apart from ourselves, Scandinavia, I think Chile may be on somewhat of our schedule too. I can't remember exactly how it works. We're definitely outliers. Let me put it that way. So the possibility or the thought that we're going to be in line with them, with the rest of the world, is certainly interesting. For us in Toronto, I think we have some unique challenges. Actually, I should just say, look outside, John, and it'll be some challenges for us in terms of how it works, but. And for me personally, and I've said this, I've been in this league since the very first day. And prior to that, I was in the APSL. And all I've known is playing through the summer. So for me, it's a little odd, to be quite honest. But it is interesting and kind of cool to be in line with the rest of the world then. And the last thing is no more missing players on international breaks. That I'm happy about.
Go, James.
Thanks, LA. Robin, just on the trialists, Hugo and Zakaria, how are they fitting in, and the draft picks as well, Fletcher Bank and Gilman?
Yeah, they've all shown promise. They've all shown real promise. And obviously, I came in last year. Hugo's already under contract, and it was my first real exposure to him. I feel like he has matured. I feel like the things that he was pretty good at last year, he's better at this year. I just think overall his game has matured and his mentality has matured as well. Um, but Zach has been good. Zach has been good. I didn't know anything about him really, and credit to Simon for finding him. He's made some unbelievable saves. He's shown a proficiency with his feet and a calmness that, a relatively young goalkeeper in a trial situation, I wouldn't expect him to look as calm and confident as he does. So he's done quite well. And Fletcher and Jackson, both incredible physical. Their physical output's really, really high. They're able to do a lot of running, a lot of sprinting, and repeat sprinting. And the game has gotten so fast lately or in the last number of years, that becomes a really important feature. In terms of football, they're different types of players, but they have attributes that make them pretty interesting. Fletcher is a very good crosser of the ball, has good timing of running in behind. Jackson is kind of an all-around defensive. When I say all-around defensive player, he can play right back, left back, right center back, left center back. He can play as a six. His versatility makes him quite interesting as well. So so far it's been a really good um, opportunity to look at some of these young players and see how they fit in. Sometimes playing with just themselves, or sometimes how they fit in with the older players.
Go back to Neil. Go ahead.
Thanks, Sally. Robin, you knew all about Walker Zimmerman before you got him, but now that you've seen him in camp in close quarters, have you seen anything that you didn't expect?
No, I would say nothing I didn't expect. He's got a great demeanor. He's a great demeanor, and for a center back, I think that is one of the most important characteristics, because I do think the team feeds off the center backs and goalkeepers and how they are in certain situations. And Walker he communicates well. He knows how to give direction, knows how to give instruction. He has a very good understanding of the game, um, proficient with his feet. Obviously, just a very aware defender. He wouldn't be where he is and have done what he's done had he not been all of those things. And so, in a lot of ways, we've gotten exactly what we expected. I would say that upon meeting him and conversations beforehand, I had an idea of what his character was like, and was really, really excited about that. If anything, I'd say he's exceeded that.
And just as a follow-up, you're a long way from home, so the team is bonding just by being there. But have you had them do any kind of off-field things to bond?
Not yet. There are a couple of things. Oh, yeah, they have done a few things. I'm sorry. On the off day, I was playing golf, so I wasn't thinking about what they were doing, but they've definitely done a few things together themselves. They've looked for opportunities to go and do things together, and we have a couple of activities coming up as well.
Thank you.
Go ahead, John.
Thanks, Ellie. Last one for me. Uh, Robin, I just wanted to ask about Georgie. Obviously when he came in last year, he had a very short, relatively sort of driveway, and he kind of really hit the ground running. Now that he's going to have like a full preseason, he has a full off season as his belt. I mean, is the expectation that he'll sort of produce even more than what he did in that short window of time that he did last year? And
Yeah.
do you have a sense of how you plan to use him? Do you think it'll be mostly as a number 10?
Yeah, we'll use him pretty much how we used him last year. It's just, again, improving team ideas, making sure that we get him the ball in certain areas, making sure that certain runs are happening in front of him. Um, yeah, I certainly expect that Georgie's going to be a huge, huge contributor to us on the attack. His brain works so fast, and he's able to pull off things in one touch that a lot of guys can't really do in two or three touches. And I do think that that his ability to speed up the attack, knowing when to speed up the attack, I think is really important. He's such a good shooter from distance that in and of itself opens up things for us. And his ability to carry the ball and carry by people and create kind of numerical advantages, I think, is also really exciting. And he just has a really good understanding of how to attack.
Final one for James. Go ahead.
Thanks, Ale. A quick one and a bit of a longer one, if that's all right. Robin, how's the golf in Spain?
This is the most rain they've had in 10 years, so it's not like we're able to play much. And certainly, I feel like I've slept 5 hours a night between preparation for trainings, review of trainings, reviewing players that were, prospective players. So we've been really, really busy. I managed to get out one day and uh, probably 9 holes in, I couldn't even think about the golf anymore because I had so much to think about with the team. But we're certainly hoping to get a few more days in if the rain stops.
Excellent. And before I go back to shoveling, one of the things I admire about coaches is the need to continually evolve and constantly learn. I'm wondering, what are you watching football wise these days? Where are you looking for inspiration?
I'm always, always looking at the top teams that do things particularly well. I'll give you an example. The team that I like to watch mostly is Manchester City because I think Pep is pretty much a genius. I think the team is in an interesting position right now where obviously they didn't have a great start to 2026, but they had a good win the other day. And the movement and ideas of those players and the way that they move, I think, I always find interesting. Um, I'm, it's a great question you asked because there are three teams really on my mind right now. And the Arsenal Man United game the other day, I watched really keenly because Arsenal is a team that's doing so well. And teams around the world all defend differently. And if you look at how we ended last year, being as defensively solid as we were, I'm always intrigued as to how the big teams are defending and how they're defending teams that play in certain formations. So for that game, as not being a particularly an Arsenal fan or a Man United fan, it was a game that I approached with a great deal of interest and saw some interesting things in terms of how they defend. But then the last part of the answer to his question is I thought Man United, when they beat City last week, in my opinion, probably looked the best they've been since Ferguson was there. I don't know what Michael Carrick is doing, but I feel like he's instilling Man United pride again. I think it's really interesting and really cool that for all the coaches they've gone through, they bring Michael Carrick back as somebody who has been through it and has been there, and he's walked a mile in those guys' shoes at Manchester United, and they look reinvigorated like it was, I don't know, 13 years ago, something like that. And the level of commitment and passion they play with, to have the 2 wins they've had in the last 2 weeks, like that's a team that I'm now really curious to follow, because is it a fluke? Is it two flukes? Or have they really kind of turned the corner? And is it all through culture and mentality? These are things that I find intriguing.
That's it
Well-
for today. Do you have any other question?
No, I was just gonna agree and say that sometimes it's remarkable what the intangibles can do for a side.
100%. I'm a big, big believer in that, which is why I'm such a big culture believer. And at the moment, I feel we have a really, really good culture. We have a lot of guys pulling in the same direction, and I'm really excited because I think the team feels almost a breath of fresh air, and the leaders are doing what they're supposed to be doing. Also has been tremendous in so many ways, and the whole group really seems to be fighting as a group. And if we have that sort of commitment a couple of weeks in, I'm excited for what's coming ahead.